We have developed additional functionality to allow you to create multiple link bookings via the booking matrix. This helps to streamline the process, as via the booking matrix you can complete this function at the customer's request in one easy action. To use this new functionality, we would simply add our arrival dates and departure date or number of nights as you would normally within the booking matrix. You would then add any filters that you would like to. We would select linked and add multiple linked booking. You will see this has automatically pulled through the dates that we have already selected. On the right hand side we also have our count, which shows the amount of units that are available from our date periods and any filters that we have added. We have the option here to enter our bulk selection count. If we add 10 in here just now, and it will ask us if we would like to confirm this option, you can see that it automatically selects 10 units. Now we can carry on to make these bookings, or if we are looking to select another unit, we can untick and tick manually, giving you more flexibility and the option to add any other units that you would maybe require or that the customer has requested. You can see now that these bookings have appeared on the matrix, and we can either confirm or we can delete them if we need to by simply removing all linked bookings. If we are going to confirm, we go to Home, where we can calculate our price and make booking as normal. You can see here that if we navigate to the booking card from our first booking, we have our details already added into the system. We can go back and copy the address to all linked bookings. It will ask you if this is what you want to do, confirm, and you can now see that all bookings have been populated with the same name and address details. If we navigate back to the booking matrix, you can see that these have now all been populated with the same name and details, all ready to follow through and take payment in the same way that you would at the moment. There is now the added ability to create owner bookings directly from an owner card within EliteParks. This is particularly useful for your customers who sublet on your hire fleet. Utilising functionality provided from a booking reason code, when creating an owner booking, we can now set this as a zero value booking, and you can now manage easier how this shows in your occupancy calculations. We would firstly navigate to booking reason codes and create an owner reason code, ensuring that you tick the zero value box. You would then navigate to Booking Management Setup and then scroll down to the Owner Bookings Fast tab, ensuring you add your reason code as owner. We are now ready to navigate to our owners list and drill into our selected owners card. To make an owner booking, navigate to the top ribbon here and select New Owner Booking. You will then be redirected to the booking matrix, and we would continue making a booking as you would normally, selecting your arrival dates and amount of nights as normal. When you are ready, we would click Select Home and Make Booking. You can see that your owner booking has now been created, and if we confirm this and go back to our booking matrix, you can see that a zero value booking has been created with booking reason code owner. To cancel is just as easy. Select cancel and you can add your cancellation reason code. And you will now see the booking has disappeared.
It is now possible to create maintenance bookings. First of all, head to Booking Reason Codes and create a maintenance booking reason code. Here you can decide whether to report these bookings as offline, make them a zero value booking, And you can also assign a specific contact against these bookings. So you may wish to create a contact called Maintenance, which makes it clear on the booking matrix that these are maintenance bookings. And finally, you can set these bookings to auto-confirm as well. To create your maintenance booking, on the booking matrix, set up your filters, select your unit or plot, and then click on Make Booking with Reason Code. Here you'll select your maintenance reason code. We've set ours to auto-confirm. When we click OK, this will create the maintenance booking. We can see that this has been confirmed. The great thing about this is that it works with your integrations, such as Houseseasons. So Houseseasons will know when a unit has been taken offline for maintenance, and they will not take any bookings on that plot or unit for the duration of that maintenance.
There is now the added ability within EliteParks to assign a Booking Extras template to both a unit and a plot singularly. If I now drill into one of our unit cards and scroll down to the Bookings Fast tab, you can see that I now have a space to add a template code. In this instance, I'm going to add a pet extra template. I can now do exactly the same thing if I navigate to plots and choose one of our plots. And again, scroll down to the Bookings Fast tab. You can see that I can add a Booking Extra template, again of pet. And you can now see in this booking we have created, using the unit number we have added our Booking Extra template to, using a grade that does not normally accept a pet. If we now navigate to the bookings in the ribbon, select Extras, you can see that Pets is now an available option for us to choose from. This new functionality will give you greater flexibility and control when using Booking Extras.
There is now the functionality in EliteParks to create units and plots as a dimension value. To start using this new functionality, navigate to the Dimensions Fast tab within Park Management Setup. Here you will populate your data as required. The delimiter value that you specify here will be used to concatenate your park code and plot number or unit number, creating your new unique dimension value. With this now configured, click on Actions in the top ribbon, Dimensions, and create Plot Dimension Values or Unit Dimension Values. This action will only create new dimension value codes if they don't already exist in the system. Your unit or plot dimension value code can be found on the unit or plot card under the General Fast tab.
There is now the added permission within EliteParks to control the renaming of units and plots. Simply navigate to your selected user within EliteParks User Setup, and under Park Permissions you will see the new toggle Rename Plots and Units. Selecting this on will mean the user is allowed to rename the units and plots, and keeping it off means they will be restricted from doing so. I have left the toggle off and will now drill into one of our plots and try and rename this plot. When I now try to come back out of the plot card and confirm my changes, you will see that it says I do not have permission to perform this task, and upon refreshing, the plot number stays exactly the same. Within Deal Management Setup, we have added an additional condition. We have added, under Completed Deal On, Full Deal Amount. If this is set within Deal Management Setup, all future deals will be required to have been paid in full before a deal can go through and be completed. It is important to note, however, that this will also include any finance payments required for the deal. is now the added ability within EliteParks to create purchase quotes for margin-funded deal extras. On the Deal Stacker, if we navigate to the Margin-Funded Extras Fast tab, you can see that we now have the option to create a purchase quote and to view this document. The same functionality has also been applied to maintenance jobs. Here we can drill into one of our maintenance jobs and scroll down to our invoice lines and create a purchase quote. Again, by selecting Purchase Document, we can view this quote. There is now the added ability for the user to assign maintenance jobs to themselves. This feature adds the ability to quickly assign maintenance jobs to your own user. From a maintenance jobs list, you can now use the top ribbon and you will see that we have an Assign to Me function. It will ask you to confirm. And now if we drill into this maintenance job card, you will see that the assigned resource number has been stamped with our resource number. If we drill into a maintenance card, you can see that the same functionality is available from the job card itself. By simply selecting Assign to Me and confirming, the assigned resource number is now stamped with our resource number.
We have added status codes for maintenance jobs and housekeeping activities. On the Part Management Setup, under the Features Fast tab, you will find a toggle to enable maintenance job status codes. Enabling this will allow you to see the new Defaults Fast tab, and here you can decide which default status codes you would like to set for each part of the process. For example, for In Progress, you can create new status code, and you can set whichever status code you want to have as default. On your maintenance job card and housekeeping activity card, you'll find the status code field under the General Fast tab. You can go in and manually change this to whichever status code this particular job or activity is at. Here you can see the field for status code for housekeeping activities. The toggle to switch this on for housekeeping can be found in the Housekeeping Management Setup page.
There is now the added ability within EliteParks to receive an ad hoc unit into stock without the need of a purchase order. This particular functionality has been created with the aim of benefiting Elite Lite users, as it will allow you to add units into your system without the need for a purchase order. To start using this new functionality, first of all navigate to Park Management Setup and scroll down to the bottom where you will find the Features Fast tab. Here you will enable EliteParks Lite. We then navigate back up to the Sales and Purchase Fast tab, and you will see here that there are some settings to set for your ad hoc units. You will name your journal batch name and your item template name, and toggle on if you would like it to auto-post when you receive your ad hoc units. We will now navigate to our units list, where we can now create an ad hoc unit by simply clicking Actions and Create Ad hoc Unit. You would fill in all your details here. Once we have filled in the details for our ad hoc unit, we can now click OK. And the system will ask you if you would like to create an ad hoc unit for your item. Once the unit has been successfully created, it will ask you if you would like to open the unit card, and you can now drill directly into there. We now need to receive our unit by selecting Actions and Receive Ad hoc Unit, where here we will now fill in our details, including the purchase unit VAT amount and the purchase removable contents amount, along with your department code. Once your details have been populated, select OK, and it again will ask you if you would like to receive this ad hoc unit into stock. We can now confirm, and you can see that this unit has been received into stock. And we now have an inventory of 1 for this unit. As we toggled on the auto post in Park Management Setup, the system will have automatically posted an item journal for the purchase. To see the invoice lines, simply click on Unit in the ribbon and Purchase Invoice Lines, where we will now be directed to the invoice lines. We can edit these lines as well if required. But please do bear in mind that being able to edit the invoice lines is a permission-based piece of functionality.
There is now the added ability to edit the VAT purchase lines of imported or ad hoc units within EliteParks. To do this, I would search my units list and then drill into our unit required. Select Unit in your top ribbon and navigate to Purchase Invoice Lines. To edit the costs, I would select Edit Lines, and you see these 3 fields are now editable. And I can now change this and tab out. It will ask me if I'm happy to make this update. And it will also remind me that I may need to run this routine to amend the inventory value. Once I'm happy, I can close, and these have been amended. There is now the added ability within EliteParks to export our pre-bill reports to Excel. You do need to enable this functionality on first of all by going to Park Management Setup and ensuring that the feature is turned on in the Features Fast tab. Once you have done this, you are now able to start your invoicing routine. In this instance, we are using site fee invoicing as an example. You fill in your details and select OK. You then select your action, whether you would like to pre-bill to a PDF, pre-bill to Excel, or invoice. In this instance, we are going to pre-bill to Excel. We select OK. And you can see that the site fee has now opened in Excel. And you are able to view within an Excel document.
It is now possible to link and even sync contacts in EliteParks, allowing you to have multiple owners linked together. This is configured in Deal Management Setup. Under the Numbering Fast tab, you will set the linked owners number series. Then, under the Owners Fast tab, you will find a toggle to sync linked owner contact details. With this switched off, you can link owners but maintain separate contact details. If you decide to switch the toggle on, you can synchronize the contact details between those multiple linked owners. By clicking on this number here, you can drill into the list of fields that can be synchronized across multiple owners. As you can see here, we have decided not to synchronize the name. We wish for the owners to keep their own names, but we would like them to have the same address and telephone numbers. You can click into any of these fields and decide whether you would like to fully synchronize them or only synchronize them if new or updated information is entered. This option will exclude deletion, meaning, for example, if you deleted the email address from one owner, this will not delete the email address for the linked owners. Let's link 2 existing owners with sync switched on. From the owner card, go to Actions in the top ribbon and Link Owner. Select the owner from the list that you wish to link and click OK. This will sync the 2 owners, and we will see that the contact details have pulled through to this owner card. These two owners now have matching contact details based on the contact fields that you have defined for synchronization. To unlink owners, simply return to Actions and choose Unlink Owner. If we link two owners with sync switched off by going to the Owner card, Actions and Link Owner, select the second owner, we will notice that the two owners have maintained their own contact details. On the deal stacker, it's possible to link new owners with existing owners. As you can see here, we have a new draft deal. If we go to Actions in the top ribbon, Linked Owners and Link Deal, you can select an existing owner to link with this deal. Upon completion of this deal, the link between the owners will be created and you can start synchronizing their contact details. To unlink this owner, simply return to Actions, Linked Owners, and Unlink Deal.
EliteParks now has the added ability to use the VAT product posting group against a license agreement for private sales. If you navigate to your license agreement types, and we can now drill into one, you will see that we now have under the Private Deal Fast tab, Private Sale VAT product posting groups, which we can set here, and you can choose which one you would like to apply to your private sales. We can now do this for each of our license agreement types separately.
You now have the ability to set a unit as on consignment and then stack a deal. To do this, browse to the Inventory Fast tab on the relevant unit card. Here you'll find a toggle to set the unit as on consignment and a field in which to enter the consignment value. Switch on the Available for Sale toggle and this unit can now be added to new deals. When you add your unit to the deal, scroll to the Backsheet Fast tab and you'll see that the cost of unit has populated with the amount that you entered as the on consignment value. When the deal is ready to be completed for your unit on consignment, you can now process the buyback on the original owner's completed deal. You will see that the value for the consignment is reflected here in the buyback value field, and you can now process this buyback prior to finalising the resale of the unit. When invoicing general rates, it's now possible to invoice additional charges at the same time using this toggle, and you can specify exactly which charges you would like to include.
There is now the added ability to invoice meter readings excluding VAT. To facilitate invoicing requirements, we now have added the ability to run your meter invoicing routine excluding the VAT. This means you can store the price per unit with or without VAT for your invoicing routine. If I drill into the meter types from our part card, this means we can now, depending on your business process, create our prices per unit to include or exclude VAT. Now, when running your meter invoicing routine, depending on if you store the unit price against the meter type, including or excluding VAT, you can now use this toggle to reflect the correct amount for your routines. When ran, the system will then force the sales invoice documents to either include or exclude the VAT based on this toggle.
You will notice that two EliteParks fields have been added to the payment registration page: part code and reason code. Using these fields as filters will allow you to correctly register payments for the relevant park or reason code.
Using the new EliteOwners app, owners will be able to view from the home screen their unit, their balance, and any outstanding jobs that they have at the moment. They will then be able to navigate to Finance and view any statements that they require. They will also be able to pay on account, and they will also be able to pay any outstanding invoices that they may have within the system. Once paid, this information will filter straight back to EliteParks. Owners will also be able to plan ahead to arrange any items and services in preparation for their next visit. For example, they are able to add a gas bottle, add a delivery note, and a delivery date that they would require. They can then pay for this or add it to their basket for later. They can also review any past receipts that they have within EliteParks. Owners will also be able to navigate to the Jobs section, add any maintenance jobs with any pictures that they may have, and also view any outstanding maintenance jobs and view any pictures that may be attached to them. Once they have added a job, again, this information will filter straight back through to EliteParks. Within the Contact section of the Owners app, owners will be able to create a lead with a type of sales, bookings, memberships, or events. They will be able to add any comments that they have and request a callback date and time suitable to themselves and submit it back. Under My Profile, owners can edit their contact details and save it, and it will filter back through to EliteParks. They can view their unit details. This cannot be edited within the Owner app, but they are able to view what details that you hold for them. They can edit their contact preferences and save this, and again, it will filter back through to EliteParks. And they can also change their login password if required. If a guest does forget their password, they can also do this from the login screen, and a reset password email will be sent directly to the owner. Owners are also able to manage multiple units within one Owner app. They will only need to register once, and then their units will be added directly to their Owner app, as and when required. Configuring and changing the brand settings within EliteParks for our new EliteOwners app is a very quick and simple process. To change the look of the app, we simply need to navigate to EliteOwners Setup and the brand settings in the ribbon above. Here we have our display name, any images that are used within the app, and here we will add our branding colours for the tiles and the text and the background colours. These will match your own branding and will be provided to us within an onboarding document. I have now amended our brand settings, including adding a new logo URL and a new background URL. I have now matched the colours to match our own branding. I can now close and confirm I'm happy to publish these changes. And now if we refresh our app, you can see that our app has completely changed in a matter of moments.
In this latest release, we have now added site tasks and safety tests to the Elite app. Both of these can be managed as an individual user or as a team, where they will be able to complete the information. On a site task, you will be able to set the comments of the site task and set complete from the ribbon. With a safety test, be bound to either you as a team member or as an individual user, and you will be able to set the test date issued by certificate number and comment and be able to submit at the ribbon at the top. Within the app itself, we have also added some additional functionality where the ribbon will now display at the top of the screen on your mobile or tablet device. We have also added additional functionality to maintenance jobs, where now from a maintenance job, you will be able to create your own record from directly within the Elite app itself. When you select New, you will now be able to complete the record. By selecting the key information, you will have the ability to set park, plot and unit directly from within the app, and also set the due date, delivery date, start and end time. We have also made an enhancement to allow the Elite app user to set various different stages of the job directly within the app itself, and this will be bound with a new table in EliteParks called Maintenance Job Status Codes. This will allow you to bind the current status that is set on a maintenance job with your own set of statuses that the Elite app user can set. For example, when they set with maintenance team, that will also default to in progress as the main status when bound and synced back to EliteParks. Greater flexibility to the teams out using the mobile device and the tablet, where they are able to create and update maintenance jobs. The second enhancement we've done to maintenance jobs and all other tables within the Elite app is where you're able to now change the owner or the assigned to of the actual record itself. On any record, you are now able to assign the job to another member of the team. You can do this directly within EliteParks or of course within the Elite app. This is also helpful when you have team members that are able to access unallocated jobs, where they will then be able to dip into the pool of jobs and allocate the job to themselves, which will then be shown under My Jobs. As well as this, we have also added the ability to download teams from within the Elite app, where you're then able to bind them to a resource within EliteParks. As you can see here, you can bind it to one of the resources, such as maintenance team, to the maintenance team within Elite app itself. All jobs that have this resource number on, when syncing to the Elite app, will be automatically bound to that particular team on the Elite app itself.
Microsoft have added more columns to pages for better insight. From purchase and sales documents, we now have access to the General Business Posting Group, General Product Posting Group, VAT Business Posting Group, and VAT Product Posting Group. These fields can be added by personalizing the lines on the Fast tab. From the system, if I head to Personalize, if I select my lines area and add field at the top, you'll see I'm able to find General Business Posting Group and VAT Business Posting Group here, so I can drag these onto my view. And now we can see this information on the line. In addition, they have also added source number and source type. These fields are available through personalization on the Item Ledger Entries page. Through the same process, if I use the cog and personalize, adding a field, you'll now see we have the option for source number and source type. They have also added the vendor order number. This field is available through personalization on the purchase orders page, and they have also added the Your Reference field, available through personalization on the sales and purchase documents. use statistical accounts to collect data for financial reports. Statistical accounts improve analysis and track progress by letting you add a number-based statistical value to a separate ledger. For example, you may want to note the number of full-time employees you have, or the number of customers served on each day. You can register these values using statistical accounts journals. This feature would be particularly useful for keeping track of the statistical data required by the UK Statistics Authority. Within the system, you can navigate to Statistical Accounts. In here, you can add any account you wish to record values for. For example, we can see here we have a full-time and part-time employees. If I drill into the account, I have some details, and it also provides me with a balance for that account. If I return to this page, I can then use Statistical Accounts Journals, there is a shortcut on the ribbon here, to post adjustments or values for the statistical accounts. For example, here we have an adjustment in March for an additional employee for both full-time and part-time. These work very similar to journal batches, so you can have specific batches set up for specific statistical accounts. Once you register these, you can then view any ledger entries for your statistical accounts by using the ledger entries action on the ribbon here. You can also search for statistical accounts ledger entries and this will show you all of the ledger entries posted, and you are able to filter on this view. You will note you can also include dimension codes for both park, department and deal here as well. You can then use the data you record against your statistical accounts for reporting. This can be done through financial reports, as now from within our row we can define the totaling type as statistical account. This means you can use financial reports to look at the total balance for each month, as well as then compare this on a year-on-year basis. Use pivot table functionality on list pages for data analysis. End users and data analysts can analyze data from list pages directly in the client without the need to open the page in Excel or run a report. Analysis mode is a new way of interacting with data on list pages. We can access this through any list page in the system, including our EliteParks tables. For example, we can head to Maintenance Jobs, and from our ribbon within Maintenance Jobs, we have this toggle here for Analyse. This will enter us into Analysis mode, and you'll see it's opened up Analysis 1. Right at the bottom, you will see a count of rows. From the right-hand side, we have access to columns. This allows us to add and remove columns. For example, we can add in the priority column or remove it. We are also able to group our data. So for example, we may want to group by status. Doing so will group the data I can see on my screen into those status categories. And I can see at a quick glance I have 39 in progress jobs. You also have analysis filters available. So for example, I can apply a filter to any of these fields. For example, plot number, and I can select whichever plot to filter on from this pane. In addition, you also have the pivot mode. If we head to Bookings, you can see the same options available on the Bookings view for Analyse. Within this analysis view, I have set up a pivot using the pivot mode option at the top, and I have added my row groups as grade code, my values as the sum total price, and the booking agent code. I have also added in the filters a filter on confirmed equals yes, cancelled equals no, and booking type equals unit. We do also have the option to create additional analysis views. From our ribbon here, if you click on the plus icon, this will add a new analysis view, and you can save as many of these analysis views as you wish. You can rename these by clicking on the drop-down arrow and selecting Rename. You also have the option to duplicate, so you can create a single analysis view, duplicate it to apply different filters, i.e. for a different period of time, or maybe as a comparison. We are also able to arrange these and move these in the order that you wish to use them. We are also able to export the data. If I right click within my column view here, I've got the option to copy or export, and I can export this data as an Excel or CSV file. Opening the Excel report, you'll see it dumps the information from my screen into an Excel workbook. Drag and drop files onto the File Upload dialog. The File Upload dialog in Business Central has been enhanced with a clear drop area so that users can drag and drop a single file into the system. No matter which business processes require uploading of documents, users can now choose between dragging a file or using the traditional file picker. We can do this through Deal Documents, and if I go to upload my file, you'll see I'm presented with the drag and drop option here. I can click to browse for files in the traditional manner, but I can also grab a file from my system and drag and drop this into my Deal Documents. Keyboard shortcuts are now available for navigation menus. For users who use the keyboard, and for organizations potentially looking to streamline their operations with AI and automation, can now have a familiar experience to that of other Microsoft 365 applications such as Excel and Word to boost the efficiency for those keyboard users. When pressing Alt in Business Central, you will see a drop-down alongside any of the UI elements indicate the next keystroke. For example, now I have pressed Alt on my view, I can press V to navigate to my vendors. From within this view, I can press the Alt key again, and I can also then look to create a new document by pressing N. The following drop-down menu will also produce me the following keystroke, so I can select P for a purchase invoice, and you will see a purchase invoice will pop up on the screen. This is available through all tables within the system, including EliteParks tables. As you learn these keystrokes, you can see how operations can become quicker and more efficient, as now, with my example, I can very quickly, on the vendor screen, using the Alt key, press N and O in quick sequence to produce a new purchase order for the vendor I highlighted. The ability to tailor the action bar on document lines. In addition to the action bar at the top of the page, you can now personalize actions on subparts in the content area. For example, you can personalize the action bar of document lines. You can see on our sales invoice card here, underneath line we have our functions menu. We also have our related information which contains deferral schedule. This is quite commonly used, and we can now use the personalize option to move this action to either the line or into a different header on our line section. If we head to the cog and personalize, in the same way you're able to personalize other elements in the system, you have the option within these subpart sections here to move the options. So for example, I can now move deferral schedule onto the header section of this lines piece here. So that means when I click done on my personalization, I can always see deferral schedule and I no longer have to navigate through a drop-down menu. I can also, by personalizing again, drag and drop deferral schedule into an additional page header here. What this means is that then page will be visible and I can see my deferral option here. This personalization allows you to customize your view and has further enhanced the way in which you can modify your view to suit the way that you need to work.
There is now the added ability within EliteParks to add additional lines on unit purchase invoices. If we drill into one of our purchase invoices and navigate down to our receipt lines, you can see that I have added another line to cover our transport costs. If I now post this set purchase invoice, and you will see now that when I choose this unit within the deal stacker, you can see the unit here, and I navigate down to the back sheet and drill into the VAT amount, you can see in the calculation it has not added the transport costs, ensuring that your calculations are always correct. There is now the added ability to create a fixed asset from a unit or fixed asset template via a purchase document within EliteParks. If we now drill into one of our purchase invoices and scroll down to lines, we can click line, functions, fixed asset, and we can now create a fixed asset from a template or create a fixed asset from a unit. In this instance, we're going to create a fixed asset from a template. We're going to select our template we have already set up, confirm. You can see now that the line has changed type to fixed asset and has provided us with a fixed asset number.
Added the ability on the item journals page to renumber document numbers. If a number series is specified in the number series field on the item journal batch, document numbers for individual or group lines must be in sequential order when you post the journal. To avoid having problems with posting, you can now use Renumber Document Numbers action on the item journals page before you post the journal. As you can see in our system here, we have a number series assigned against our item journal. If I attempt to preview post this current document, you'll see we receive an error message that tells us our document number is not correct. If we head back from this screen, underneath our Actions Fast tab, I can go to Functions and Renumber Document Numbers. If I select this, it will prompt me with a message to say it's going to run through the process. And you'll see it has now changed my document number to the correct document number. If we now preview post this, you'll see we receive no errors. Microsoft have added the preview posting functionality to item journals. This gives you a chance to review your item journal before it's posted. From the item journal screen, if we navigate here to our post option, on the drop-down, we now have the action for preview posting. This will then show us a preview of any lines which are going to be posted, and we can double check to make sure they are moving between the correct GL accounts. Review general ledger accounts faster. To speed up the period end process of reviewing and reconciling GL accounts, you can review the GL entries for a given GL account and mark the entries as reviewed. If we navigate to our GL account card here, you'll see we have a new tab for Review Policy. On this drop-down, we have the options of None, so allowing no reviewing of the entries. We have Allow Review, which will allow us to review any entries regardless of any balances needing to be matched. Or we have Allow Review and Match Balance, so therefore requiring our review to balance. In this example, we're going to leave Allow Review and Match Balance toggled. From our ledger entries, if I head to Account and Ledger Entries, when I open this view now, you'll see I have a new action for Review Entries. If I select this, we'll open up a new screen which will populate with all of the entries on the account. From the top of the screen, I can expand this view so I can see my entries much clearer. In my entries list here, I can now select which entries I'd like to review. In this case, if I select this 375 line here, you'll see my balance at the bottom is reflective of the lines I have selected. I can click on to the ellipsis Show More options here, and I can choose Select More. From here I can then select the other entry to match this off against, and you can see now my balance is reflective of 0. Because I have selected on my GL account card to review and match balance, I must be working towards a 0 balance to be able to mark my entries as reviewed. To review them, I can select the option at the top for Set Selected as Reviewed. You'll see as I do this, it marks the entry as reviewed, and I also then have a reviewed by and the date in which it was reviewed. You can also reverse these by selecting Set Selected as Not Reviewed from the top. You can do this with multiple lines, so for example I can highlight both of these 375 lines and now select this one here for 54167 and the corresponding value down here. Again, making sure that my balance is 0. From the top ribbon, we have options for applying some filters. We can show reviewed entries only, or we can hide the review entries. If I select Show Reviewed Entries, you'll see my lines here show me just the entries that I have reviewed on this GL account. If you utilize the option of Review against your GL account within the review policy, this means it does not require double entry bookkeeping, and you are able to just review your entries and mark them as such.
With this latest release, Microsoft have updated the user interface. The updated user interface includes changes to list views with a more defined structure from the ribbon on all tables where they will be split from the main form. As you can see on the dashboard, the ribbon is now in its own section at the top of the record, with a slightly more darker area behind and a more structured feel to each one of the sections on the dashboard. You will be able to see more enhanced changes to the list view, where they are now more structured with lines in between the records, and the toggles will now display within the list view itself, with the ribbon at the top being in its own section. On the record itself, you can also see how the screen is now split into different sections, with the ribbon, the header now in its own section, and then the various sections within the record itself. When you create a new record within EliteCRM, you will now see grey boxes that hover where you can enter information on the screen. Where a business process flow would feature, like on an Elite lead, the colour has been changed from orange to blue. The other features to this release is the improved sharing capabilities. From the record itself, you will now see in the ribbon in the top right hand corner a blue share icon. By selecting this, you will be able to email a link or copy the link to send to colleagues that have a license to access the platform, where they will be able to navigate directly to the record from the link. Feature is an enhancement that was released last year, where Advanced Find is now removed, and you have all of the options directly within the list view of the record, where you can manage and share views directly from the bottom of that dialog. We have made some additional functionality to the EliteCRM Diamond solution for appointments and phone calls. First of all, for a phone call, you will now have the ability to set speak or no speak as the outcome of the phone call. This will allow greater reporting capabilities. The default option will callback set to no and will allow you to set the outcome as no speak or speak. If you select callback as yes, this will remove the outcome and allow you then to set a due date for your phone call. The second option will allow you now to only set appointments outcome from the appointment record itself. You will no longer be able to close an appointment from the timeline. You will then drill through to the appointment record. The appointment record then will pop up out on the screen. And as always, you can set the outcome within the appointment actions on the right hand side. Once you've set your follow-up, you can then set the appropriate action, and that will automatically close the record for you, and then you can come back onto the lead screen. Once again, this will allow for greater reporting capabilities and allow the correct appointment actions to be set when needing to be closed. Release 22.1, we added the ability to set contact preferences in either EliteCRM or EliteParks, regardless of the EliteCRM version you are on. Within EliteParks, on Contact Preference Setup, you can set the Dynamics 365 attribute name directly on one of your contact preference types. This would then flow to the contact record in EliteCRM. We have now had the ability in the latest release for these contact preferences to be shown on the Elite lead card, and for EliteCRM Diamond, these can also be unlocked and directly edited on the Elite lead card when the contact is set on the lead. We have added further information to our newly released Elite Customer Care solution. When on the Elite Customer Care record, you will now be able to navigate to the ribbon, select Complete, and then be able to enter the completion information directly within the dialog box. Once setting complete, this will automatically close the record and set the information directly on the bottom of the record itself.